Hi, welcome to the Angeles Forest. Thanks for tuning in to check out my car. This is my 1999 Acura Integra GS-R. I've had it for about 3 years and meant to just showcase the car and tell you what I've done to it. And then I'm going to take it up on a windy road here and put it through its paces just to show you what it can do. A little bit about the car. I've had it for 3 years. When I bought it, I was told that the head was rebuilt, the clutch was recently replaced, and the intake manifold was new. I could see that the intake manifold was new. Everything else he didn't have documents, but I took him for his word, and it paid off. I took a gamble, but it paid off. Many mechanics that have looked at the car and worked on it have said that the head is rebuilt. The clutch runs strong, so I can't doubt that that was replaced recently. But since I got the car, it needed some work. I had replaced the timing belt, the oil pan gasket, the valve cover gasket. What else? The hood here. Radiator, the hoses, the thermostat, oil pump, distributor, fuel pump. I did the front steering and suspension rebuild from A1 Auto. It's a 10-piece set, and it's only about $200, but the labor is very labor intensive to do that, and basically got it back to factory spec, or how it should feel from the factory. And then rear trailing arm bushings was replaced as well. Aside from that, just all the usual maintenance, brake fluid flush, the spark plugs, oil change, all that jazz, all that good stuff. Mods have the K&N Typhoon 2nd generation cold air intake. This is the best on the market. It has the benefits of the short ram intake because it is essentially a short ram intake, but then it has this barricade that shields it from the heat of the engine, so you get the benefits of a cold air intake as well. Back here in the intake manifold, I have a Honda intake manifold thermal gasket that basically separates the hot temperatures of the engine from the intake manifold, so that heat doesn't transfer all the time, so it keeps the intake temperatures down. DC ceramic coated header, Yonaka cat back exhaust, and the cat was also replaced. Catalytic converter was also replaced. It does pass smog. I just recently had it smogged and there were no issues. Moving on to the suspension, I have Eibach front and rear sway bars, Coney yellow adjustable dampers, ground control coilovers with custom Eibach spring rates. They were custom rates because the rear of the car has been gutted. I'll get into that a little bit later. The wheels are Koenig Hypergrams. They are 15-inch by 7.5, and it is a plus 35 offset. So these are the same. They're 15-inch, same as the stock wheels that came on the car, but they are 1.5 inches wider, about 10 pounds lighter, and you get plus 35 millimeters of additional track width on each side, so that's 70 millimeters of track width for the car as a whole. And then aside from that, Nitto NTO5 tires. They're basically semi-slick summer tires. I have driven on the rain, have driven on them in the rain, and they perform just fine. I drove on the freeway. Of course, I don't drive like an asshole, so there was no issues there. And yeah, that does it with the suspension. But needless to say, the suspension is locked in. It's dialed in. So there were no issues there. Moving around to the back of the car, I removed the rear windshield wiper. It looked terrible, and it added a little bit of extra weight. This is a Password JDM plug for that. And then it is pretty much gutted back here. Megan Racing rear strut tower bar. That's a no-name C-pillar brace. It actually was one of the first mods that I did. It made a huge difference. I could tell right away. It did rattle, but what I did is I unscrewed these and I put some electrical tape around the thread, and then just really just stuck a screwdriver in there so I could close it again, so I could, you know, adjust it again, and got it right where it needs to be, and it doesn't rattle, or at least it's dramatically reduced the rattle. Underneath the car, I also have a VMS rear subframe brace, a rear subframe reinforcement bar. I don't know if that does anything, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, that does it for mods. I've estimated that it's 20 horsepower that I've added, 20 plus horsepower that I've added. There is no tune, so it has a virgin ECU, so there's plenty more power that can be unlocked. And then as far as weight savings, net weight savings, and I've done the math here, net weight savings over 200 pounds. That includes the extra bars and everything that I put in. So it is about 100 pounds lighter than an Integra Type R, and almost the same horsepower. And then if you tune the ECU, it'll be way past that. Moving on. Oh, and the engine is 100% original. Car's never been stolen, salvage title, nothing like that. It's all clean, all original. All right. I'll close that up. Go ahead and start it up. Starts up fine. Never had an issue with starting up. I've had it sitting for a week, longer, started up just fine. Never had an issue. What else? Radio works fine. I took off the rear speakers. It doesn't work fine out here because we're in the middle of nowhere. But I took out the rear speakers, so you just have the fronts. It works fine. I wanted the radio so that I'm not just VTECing it all the time when I'm driving around the city. And I usually just listen to NPR. But aside from that, everything else works. We have AC, and turn that on. Doesn't affect the idle or anything. Everything is solid. Idle is very strong. Windows, we'll go ahead and roll the windows up for this so you don't have a bunch of wind noise. And I'm going to take it on Angeles Forest Highway in just a second here. The sunroof does work, but I'm going to keep it shut for this so that you don't have wind noise. And I think that's about it. We'll go ahead and take it on this road here and put it through its paces. I wear gloves for this. You may notice the shift knob here. It is a Skunk 2 titanium coated shift knob. It is weighted. Feels really good in my hand, but it is a little bit slippery because I do have clammy hands at times, especially when I'm driving on a mountain road like this. So I wear gloves with a little bit of padding here to give me some extra grip. Okay, AC is good, nice and cool, but we're gonna go ahead and turn it off during this run so I get max power. Part of this road's downhill, which which is good because this is a momentum car and you really don't have to brake that much because it has so much grip. Oh man. Love coming out here. That was a nice hot lap. This is about my 5th or 6th time coming out here. I've really never had an issue with the car at all. I come out here, I put it through its paces, it runs solid, and that happens every time. That's why I'm doing this all as one take. No copyright. Don't copyright strike me, Matt Farah. Oh! Just hit somebody's Mickey's can. Alright, anyways, I think I'm going to turn it around up here. But as you can see, car is a lot of fun, a lot of grip, and VTEC pops. Always wanted one of these cars and I wanted to build it myself, and this is the culmination of 3 years, a lot of trial and error. I went through the suspension, this is my 3rd type of suspension. I first started with Yonaka coilovers. Loved them, they performed great, but they were way too stiff. From there, I changed them to the Coney Yellows and Tang progressive rate springs. Those were, progressive rates suck. They are not good for, they're good for luxury cars. Luxury Grand Touring cars, maybe, I don't know. So I finally ponied up the cash and got the ground control coilovers with custom spring rates. I talked to them and I told them specifically what my deal was with the car. I said the rear of the car is gutted, so it's very light in the back, and that I would be using the car for daily driving, but occasional canyon runs like this, and maybe track use, although truth be told, I never brought it to the track. And anyways, I trusted their judgment. They really know Hondas. These are kind of the best recommended setup that you find on the forums, and they gave me a really good setup and it works really well. But as you can see, I spent a lot of money going through different suspension setups, and it wasn't until the 3rd one that I found a setup that was also the most expensive that I really liked and really fit the purpose I had for the car. And other than that, driving this gravel, but I guess I have to. Oh no, get back on the track. No, this isn't Gran Turismo. Love ripping tech, popping V-Tech. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that. Didn't want to end the video on that note. It's the following day. I'm just driving myself to the gym for a quick workout. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, if you're interested in buying the car, feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And if you're not, if you just stumbled across this video, maybe you have an Integra that you're building yourself, or if you're just a Honda fan, if you have any questions or need some advice, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help out the community. All right, well, I'll go ahead and end it there. Thanks for watching.